All righty. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to be taking some time to talk a little bit about the Illinois Department of Employment Security, the IDES service lookup that is integrated into as like an integrated step into the Getting Started assessment. And we have Kelsey on with us who's going to help us go over that. She's with the IDES team, and we'll be talking on this a little bit more with us as we get through this. Before we get into the content for today, we did want to make sure everybody knows that the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity allows for the recording of audio, visuals, participants, and other information sent, verbalized, or utilized during this business-related meeting. This meeting is scheduled to be recorded by DCO. Your participation in this meeting without express consent, objecting to the recording, will be treated as consent. Any participant who prefers to participate via audio only should disable their cameras so only their audio will be captured. To make this session as productive and respectful for everyone, please follow these simple guidelines. To minimize background sounds, we ask that everybody stays mute. You will be able to come off mute and ask questions during specific times of the session. You can use the raise your hand reaction if you would like to speak, and then wait for somebody to call on you. And then if you are comfortable turning on your cameras, you can. You can post questions in the Q&A and put comments in the chat for everyone to see. We encourage all participants to submit questions using the Q&A feature, not the chat, so our team can track and respond to every question. You find this by clicking the three dots with the word More in your toolbar. Once you click that, you will be able to then select the Q&A option. This will place that Q&A feature on the toolbar for easy access, and you can post all of your questions there. For today's webinar support, we have Sarah. Sarah's going to be joining us here very soon. We were just previously on another meeting that she ended up needing to stay on a bit longer. We also have myself, Olivia Miller, and then we also have Kelsey Butcher with Illinois Job Links through IDES, and she's going to be talking through some of the content with me today. We're excited to have Kelsey and appreciate the support she gave us as we built this piece into the system. So before we begin, we'd like to hear a little bit from you. If you can, I see several of you have already been doing this. If you can, go ahead and share your name, your LWIA, and what you're most excited about learning today in the chat.
Hey, Olivia. Thanks for jumping in with the intro. I am on now, so you know.
Perfect. I'll keep the slides up, but let you talk through. We're just about ready to get into the content piece, so I'll let you talk through that and then be ready to share my screen.
Okay, great. Well, Olivia, I think we can actually keep it moving with the agenda because I know that there's a lot that you and Kelsey want to share today. So, per usual, we will find a customer, we'll access that customer's application, and then Olivia will kind of demonstrate where in the our 2.0 system we would access the IDES lookup to understand if the customer has received certain services or worked with certain programs with our partner IDES. And then Kelsey will take it over and kind of walk us through the different scenarios. So we're really excited to be able to partner. I know Olivia noted this earlier, but we're really excited for this partnership today. And then I'll round it out with a little bit of hypercare review. It will be nothing new, hopefully, for anybody on the call, but just a reminder before we, as we approach launch. So I think at that, Olivia, I can pass the floor to you, back to you.
Perfect. All right, so yes, we're going to jump into the IDES, sorry, my slides keep going, system lookups. Let me pull up my screens here. So before I show you the actual piece that we're looking at today, I like to set the stage with a little bit of how we got to where we got. We're going to look at this. So whenever you're working with a customer, I'm working with a demo tester, and the demo tester has completed the intake process. They completed their full application. So I can see here from our eligibility certification page that they have completed application, everything is signed, they've been certified. Um, they're good to go, but I am now in process of completing the getting started assessment with them. Um, they came in, or maybe we did our certification. They had uploaded everything, so I was able to complete the application review and get them certified via a virtual appointment. And then now they are coming in the following week. They're able to get into the office. They're going to come in and sit down with me, and we're going to do this getting started assessment. So I pull them up. I move over to their getting started assessment, and I'm going to walk through this with them. Mine says it's partially completed because I did a little bit of this ahead of time so we can focus on the IDES piece today. So I moved past the introduction, then we have our job preferences, move past that, answer all those questions. Then we have the skills assessment piece, move past that, understand their goals. I'm going to go all the way to the employment history. And move past their education history. And then now I'm on the employment history page, working through these questions with the customer. And one of the questions we get to is the IDES system check question. So my customer, when I did the application, they did not feel comfortable giving their social security number. When a customer does not provide the SSN, we're not at this time able to match them in the IDES system via a automated process we run with them behind the scenes to populate some data. So because I don't have that SSN, this question is going to display in a way that's telling me I need to use the IDES system to determine whether the customer is currently or previously receiving services in one of the programs below. We're going to talk a little bit more about the content of this question, but I want to talk about the ways this question is presented first. So this is one way it's presented. When no SSN is given, we say you need to use IDES to make that check. The other way this question could be presented is if they did provide an SSN, and we have already synced with IDES and found them in the system, we will auto-populate this answer with what we got from the Illinois Job Link system through IDES. And the third way is if the customer provided the SSN, but that sync hasn't happened, then we will display a question that lets the user know we do have the SSN and we are going to attempt to match that with Illinois Job Links, but we don't have those results back at the time. So it's up to the career planner if they would like to go in and figure that out now, or they can wait until the match happens. So I'm going to pull over here our flag mapping document. So it could either be presented this first way, which is the way we're looking at it. Please use the IDES system to make this determination. It could be presented the second way, where it says we currently have the social security number on file. A weekly automated IWDS match will determine whether the customer is currently or previously enrolled. So this way is letting you know it's more optional because we do have the SSN and can do that behind the scenes, but we do want to give career planners the ability if they want to look that up for any kind of case management reasons, they want to know that before moving forward. We give you the resources and ability to do that. And then the third way is we've already verified this and here's the results. And when we've already verified it through that batch process we're doing behind the scenes with IDES, the data will be grayed out. You will not be able to edit it. It will show you what is true based on the data from the system of truth for these programs. So those are the three ways. I do want to open up my Q&A feature real quick just to see if I have any questions relevant to that.
Yeah, I think there's just one, Olivia, that is the most aligned with what you're showing right now, which is, does this take the place of using IBIS in some circumstances? I was unsure because I have not been involved in
I
that.
I don't believe so. You're not using IBIS right now to answer their participation in Wagner-Peyser, DVOP, or Lever, are you? I've not heard that that's a system you use to make that. I think job links is the only system of truth for that.
So we'll get more anonymous participant if you could add some additional context to either your question or in the chat. I'll let Olivia keep moving and then maybe we can provide a better answer. All right, Olivia, I think you can keep it going.
Perfect. So, in order to answer this question, so we talked a little about how is the question going to potentially display for us. And then when it does display, we do get these quick links to help us make this answer these questions. So the first link is a link to Illinois Job Links or Job Link. So you can easily log in and get into what you need to do. You all should have access when you log in to access the customer information based on what is set up for the Title I, you all as Title I career planners. The second link is instructions that we worked with Illinois Job Link. They put these together for us. We told them a little bit about what we're needing you guys to go in and do. So it is instructions for what you would log in and how you would navigate to navigate through the system to answer the question to determine. So we get down here, make the determination on if they were enrolled in Wagner-Peyser or DVOP. So with that, I do want to, so both of those are linked, and then you will use the system and then be able to come back in here and record if they're a current participant in these and the participation date. I do want to pass it over to Kelsey so that she can actually walk us through the Illinois Job Link system so that we could see what this looks like in real time.
Thanks, Olivia. While Kelsey's sharing her screen, I just wanted to, do a litmus test of our participants. Are we all on the same page in understanding, you know, what we're doing? We may not understand how we're doing it quite yet. Kelsey's about to show accessing IJL, but are we on the same page of why we're doing this? Or are we still kind of fuzzy Monday morning? If you could do thumbs up, that would be great. Okay, I see a couple thumbs up. Okay, perfect. All right, Kelsey, I just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page before you did a
No,
demonstration.
you're good. I totally understand that. Sometimes it's hard to get going first thing on Monday mornings, but can I get some thumbs up or just let me know that you guys can see my screen here?
Yeah, we can
We're
see it.
good? Okay, perfect. So I know you guys got the screenshot instructions, but obviously I'm going to go ahead and do a live demo. So hopefully that way you'll kind of be able to bring it all together because I know you guys don't use IJL as much as we do, which is totally understandable. So to do the customer lookup, when you sign in as a staff person, this is the first thing you're going to see is your homepage. Obviously, I have 6 days to change my password. So, yeah, just a heads up, 7 days out, you'll start getting those notifications. But to do the customer lookup on the left-hand side, you have this job seeker search tab. So, you're going to click on it. And then I know it does give you the option to put in like the last four of their social, like their claimant ID, which you guys aren't going to have. So I always instruct staff to just focus on last name, first name, and date of birth. And the reason for that is because just like your system, they could end up, not having a SSN here in IJL. So we want to make sure we are pulling up any account, whether it has their SSN linked to it or not. So to do that, first thing first is you always want to hit this partial name match button. It's just a good habit to get into because by clicking that, like you're able to look for similar results. And also there are times where like in our system, they might have a hyphenated last name or they might not. And when you click that partial name match button, it allows you to search with like fewer letters. So you don't end up having to type in the full last name. But so yeah, it's always a good habit to get into. So then we're going to go ahead and put in the last name. Like they were saying, I've got 3 different examples I want to show you guys, like a couple different scenarios that you might run into. So this first scenario is that we're searching for somebody. So I've got their last name, first name, and date of birth typed in there. And then I hit that partial name match button. So once I've got all this information in there, I'm going to hit the search button down at the bottom. Now, in this case, you can see it says no records found. So if there is no account in IJL, that means they did not have an enrollment that and they were not provided services by our staff. So no record, no enrollment. So you would be able to answer that on your guys' side. Now I'm going to search. The next one is if we do find somebody. So I'm going to go ahead and click on new job seeker search so I can refresh the page. So just like before, we want to hit that partial name match button. And then we are looking for Mr. Ben Applyan. And here is his date of birth. So got his name in there, date of birth, and then I'm going to click search. Now, here you can see we've got an account that pulled up. So there's a little bit of information that you can see before you even go into it. So right here, you've got his name. So you can double check, okay, that looks right. This participant ID, that's essentially the IJL identification number. So whenever an account is created in IJL, an ID is attached to it. So that's what that participant ID is. For training purposes, and because we were doing a recording, I did remove the SSN and the claimant ID, but if those were attached to the account, you would see the last four of the social in this box and their claimant ID here. And then also as a, like from a general perspective, you can see if they're a veteran or not. And then this is also for us to know like if they're eligible for our migrant seasonal farm worker program. And then you can see that date of birth and then what their current city is, what they have listed in IJL. So just a general overview. But now we need to go into the account. So I'm going to click on Ben's name here. And that's going to take you to the case details page. Now, I know there's a lot of information on here, but really you're only needing to focus on if this individual has been provided services or not, and by whom. So to determine that, we're going to scroll down and you're going to look in this program registration section. You're going to look for the LE job service section, and that's essentially Wagner-Peyser. Now, all of our services that staff are providing, whether they're a DVOP, so they're like a veteran staff, or they're regular employment services staff, all of those services are going to be in this one enrollment. So we have to go in there to look at the service to see who did it. Now, before we do that, though, you'll see here, let me scroll down. You'll see here that we do have one enrollment and it's ended. So that means that in the past they were provided services, but right now, this day and time, they are not. So they were at one point provided services. So let's see who they were provided services by. So to go into that enrollment, you're going to click S&T plan right here. And then it looks like this person had at least 3 services provided to them. So to see who provided what service, there's this view button next to the service, and you're just going to click view. And then right here on the right-hand side, we have this service history. And you can see it shows you who provided it as well as who last edited it, sorry. And you can see they were both provided and last edited by the same person. Now, unfortunately, with the way our system's set up, it doesn't show the role for the person that provided the services. That's something that we're working with our vendor to get fixed. But as long as the person that provided and last edited it, you can use their role right down here. So you can see Sella was the last person to edit it. She also provided the service. So we can use her job seeker role right here. So that means she has a job seeker role. She was ES, so she was provided those Wagner services. If they were a DVOP, it would show DVOP here. And I do have an example for that. But like I said, you want to make sure as long as these two names match, you can get the staff's role here to determine who provided that service. Now, if you come across a like a service that doesn't have like the names don't match, that's when you guys are gonna have to reach out to me because I'll have to look behind the scenes because right now like you won't have access to see that information. But yep, you'll be able to see the history right there. And then if you want, you can check one of the other ones. So I'm just going to go back and click the view next to this service. So same thing. Looks like Sella provided this one as well, and she's a JS interviewer. Now, so like I said, that is an enrollment that's closed. So staff had previously provided these services. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like if somebody is currently provided services. So we're going to do our job seeker search again. We're going to do our customer lookup. So I'm going to click partial name match. And this one we're looking for Testy, McTester, and then here's, oops. So, just to reiterate, we have last name, first name, date of birth, and we've hit that partial name match button. So once we're ready, we're going to click search. And there you go. So this one, as you can see, so we've got the name, Testy McTester, their IJL identification number, what would be their SSN and their claimant ID. But here you can see that this person is a veteran. So at a glance, you can see, okay, they might have been provided veteran services, but we're still going to need to go in there to actually determine that. So let's go ahead and click on Testy's name here. And then like before, we're on that case details page. You can see there's some veteran information up here, but let's scroll down to see if he was provided DVOP services or if our ES staff had to help him out. So we're going to scroll down. We're back down in the program registration section. And you can see here we've got the LE job service one. And this one actually has a couple different enrollments. So right here, he has an open enrollment, but he also a few years ago was provided services, but that enrollment has since closed. But it's the same process whether the enrollment's open or not. We're going to click on the right-hand side where it says S&T plan. And then looks like he has like 26 services here, but I'm going to click the first one here. So view, I'm going to click that. And there you go. So in this case, the service history on the right-hand side, it looks like Kelsey Butcher provided this service and also last edited it. So we can get that role right down here. So in this case, Kelsey Butcher was a DVOP that provided a service. So they provided veteran services to him. So there's that DVOP role there. But like I said, if these two names do not match up in the provided by and last edited by, you guys will have to reach out to me to help right now because there's really no easy workaround. And then depending on how the services are put in there, so I think it was this job search. Wasn't the job search one. Sorry, let me look. Because one of these had like, okay, yeah, here. So so right here, we can only see the provided by, and you cannot see the staff's user role. So if you ever come across a service like this as well, like you would have to reach out to me. But we can tell like they have a ton of services. They were provided DVOP services. So, but yeah, just know like if there's only one in there and you can't get the information you need, you'll have to reach out to me there. Um, are there any questions on the customer lookup and how to go into the enrollment and click the view button?
Chelsea, there's a few questions. One I'll take, which is there's a few people who are confused why would we be getting into Illinois Job Link where Title I we work in a different system. So I wanted to level set again with you all that this is our, titles, our Department of Commerce and Department of Employment Security friends linking together to try to better understand co-enrollment. Sure, all of you have gone through the process of asking customers if they've been involved in different programs. And because it's very government speak, we're often, unsure if we're really able to get a good idea of co-enrollment from both title sides. So when we built the system, we worked with IDES to create a little portal into IJL for you all to look up the customers like Kelsey's been doing to better understand co-enrollment. So that's kind of the answer to a few questions that are in the QA that I could answer. And then Kelsey, there is one that says, does our local staff have to obtain staff credentials from IDES to access the Illinois Job Link site?
Yes, and so that that's another process that we're currently trying to revamp because the old way was there was a lot to it. So yeah, I mean, so I would reach out to your supervisor, start there because, like I said, there's a couple forms that need filled out, but it's still a work in progress. So unfortunately, I don't have like a clear cut answer, but I would start with your supervisor because yes, you will have to get access to IGL before we can, like certain things have to line up before we can get accounts created for you guys if you don't already have one created.
Okay, so Chris, to respond to your question in the QA, I'm saying yes, staff needs certain credentials,
Hmm.
and I think I'll work with Kelsey and her team, and then Chris
Yeah.
is a local area director, so
Okay.
we can go from there with directions.
Yeah, because we'll have to bring Stacy, like my supervisor, in on that because there's a lot of without getting too into the weeds, like we were working on SDAs, and we're just trying to revamp the process to make it more streamlined with getting everybody access. So yeah.
Okay, I think that's the last. Okay, there is one that says, I did see there was a UI tab. Can you go into that?
Are they talking about this tab here?
Yeah, we have
Yep.
another similar question. Will there be a way to look up eligibility for and receiving unemployment benefits within IDS, or do they still need to use IBIS? And I'm assuming that's why somebody was asking, can they get into that UI tab to make that?
Yeah, so nobody can get into the UI tab, but I will say that this IJL is connected to IBIS and that when somebody does get an open claim, like it opens up in IBIS, an enrollment will open up in IJL. So yeah, as of like February 1st, this person had an open UI claim. So yeah, if you happen to be in IJL and you want to check here, yeah, you can check that out. But and I don't want to confuse everybody, but there are times like if it's a future claim, that enrollment will not be in IJL yet. It's once it's like an open and active claim, then that enrollment will open up in IJL. So there's a couple scenarios where it might be showing in IBIS, but maybe not showing up in IJL yet. But
And then
yeah,
there's,
that's all you can see there. So.
so Kelsey, would you say the best next step to see if you have access is to go ahead and try to log in, or is there a better way for our field staff to understand if they can access the system before working with a
Yeah,
participant?
I mean, you could try like if you I mean, you could try to sign in because I mean, I can always like if I had a big list of people, like I could look up to see if they even have accounts yet. I would just need everybody's like emails and stuff. But yeah, that would probably be the easiest because without me looking it
Perfect.
up, tell you if you have an account or not. Yeah.
Well, Kelsey and I will work together on trying to figure out the easiest way to do
Mm.
that check so you all can get access into the system or see if you already have access into the system. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that some, especially LES 7 folks, likely already have access. Um, but we will check on that. And then there is a question that says, does the system show only the IDES recipient services or all WIOA customers? So what Kelsey is looking at right now is the Illinois Job Link. Would I say portal, Kelsey? Is that the correct
I
word?
mean, website. Yeah, I don't know. I
Perfect.
just, yeah, the IJ
Um,
website.
so this is not for, this would be showing anyone who's received IDES services. So this isn't necessarily all WIOA customers. This would just be if they are currently in their system.
Yeah. And I will jump in. So yeah, I would say 99% of the people in here, they are like being provided services or they're on UI. But we do have a small portion because it's a free service. It's a free website to everybody. So you don't have to be on unemployment or like being provided services to use it. You just know that somebody is being provided services because of these enrollments down here. So like if somebody has an LE job service enrollment, they're being provided services or were provided if this enrollment had closed.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Hmm.
So for Lisa, that's we'll just say 99%.
Yeah, yeah.
are
I don't want to say
are
everybody, but
yeah.
yeah.
Um, all right. Could the UI information be used as eligibility documentation? Chris, I'll get some more information on that for our end for DCO monitoring. There's a couple other questions specifically, um, kind of on our end, Kelsey, if you want to keep.
Okay. No, that was it. That was the last one that I was showing was how to go in
Okay.
here and check the services. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So let me hop into the QA.
And then I'll stop sharing unless you need me to demo it again, but I think we're
Let's take it. Would anybody on the call like Lisa? Lisa, I'm looking at Lisa's question.
okay.
Kelsey to demonstrate again, or do we feel comfortable with how that lookup took place?
All
You
right.
could let us know in the chat.
I'll give it a few more seconds before I stop sharing.
Okay,
Okay,
I
I'll
think,
pass it. Yeah,
yep.
I'll pass it over.
Okay, so it seems like we do have a demonstrate again, please note in the
Okay.
QA, Kelsey, sorry.
That's all
Yeah,
right. Give me a second. I will demo it one more time.
all right.
All right. So I'll just start at the beginning. So like when you sign in as a staff, this is the first page that you're going to see is your home page here. And then on the left-hand side, we have this job seeker search tab. So you're going to click on it. And then, like I was saying before, it's just best to use last name, first name, and date of birth because, you know, they may or may not have an SSN in here. And when you're doing that, make sure you hit this partial name match button because, like I was saying before, when you hit that, you can actually just type like a little bit from like their first or last name when you're putting this in here. You don't have to do the whole thing. Uh, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But yeah, it kind of searches for similar like partial results. But we'll do Testy McTester again. So got first name, last name in there, and then we're gonna get date of birth. All right. So last name, first name, we've hit that partial name match button and we got the date of birth in there. So then we're gonna hit search. And there you go. So, like I said, it'll give you like a little bit of an overview of their account, like if they're a vet or not. But to go into it, you just click on their name right here. And then you would essentially just scroll down to the program registration section. And then that's when you can see if there's an open enrollment, this LE job service enrollment. If it's open, that means they're currently being provided services. If it shows ended, that means they previously were. But in this case, it looks like they came back for additional services. And then to see if it was a DVOP or a JS interviewer, you would just click on S&T plan and then you can go into any of the services. So I'm going to click view on this first one, and then there you go. On the right-hand side, you can see that the provided by and last edited by is the same person. So we're able to get their role right here. So in this case, they were provided DVOP services, so veteran services.
Thanks, Kelsey. There is a question that says this does not show they're actually receiving services, correct? And I think when Kelsey goes back maybe to well, on this page, it would show.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, this means so if there's an open enrollment right here, that means within at least like the last 90 days, they've been provided services. So if they continue to be provided services, this enrollment is going to stay open. After they've gone 90 days and have not received a service, that's when it would show ended. So if I click on S&T plan, you can see here the date as well, like when they were when they had been provided services. So in this case, this most recent service was provided on the 24th, but before that, they were provided a service April 23rd, 22nd, 22nd, the 17th. So you can see how recent it was. But yeah, if it's open, they've recently been provided services.
Thanks, Kelsey. And
Mhm.
then someone called out in the QA, which is a really great note for us. Can you please go over the acronyms? So what does DVOP, lever, and UI mean?
So, well, So DVOP is Disabled Veteran Opportunity Program. I can't quite remember the whole word, but and then the lever is more the business side. So you honestly, you won't ever see a lever providing services to the claimants. They are strictly business only. So you're only going to see that DVOP, the disabled veteran. They're basically a career coach. And that's actually where they recently started moving it away to veterans career coach. So you might see like if you ever get emails from us, you might see like VCC, but yeah, right now it's just DVOP, Disabled Veterans Opportunity Program, I believe. And then JS interviewer, that's like job service, but that's like Wagner-Peyser as well. Labor exchange. There's a couple different acronyms that float around there.
Yeah, and Kelsey, you were really close on the DVOP. It's outreach program.
Outreach, there you go. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've had to say it all the way out. We just say DVOPs, but and it's actually the program. So that's where it gets confusing too, because it's the DVOP program, and that's why they're trying to get them to like and I don't know eventually if it'll change. And I'll let you guys know if it does change from DVOP to like Veterans Career Coach in here. So you'll know to be looking for a different acronym. Because yeah, DVOP is actually just the program itself, not they just call everybody DVOPs.
Perfect. Okay, great. And then Chris, with the documentation questions you've submitted into the QA, I'm reaching out to our monitors and policy folks to see if this could be used for eligibility documentation, either for their UI profile and or receiving UI for our monitoring eligibility. So I'm getting the answer to that right now. And I think, let's see if there's other. Yeah, Cassie is also noted. We have a number of acronyms to use day to day. Yes, it
So
is.
many.
They are. It is great. I think I heard someone say alphabet soup in a meeting recently, and I felt
Um,
very seen. Okay, so if you see JS services, that means Wagner-Peyser always question mark we have in the QA.
yes. Yep. Those are the only people putting in our in services right now are either you're going to see DVOP or JS interviewer. So yep. JS interviewers, employment services, or Wagner-Peyser.
And I'll just flag with everyone what Kelsey walked through today was well, she created the instructions, but we do have instructions for someone, for you all to walk through what Kelsey just did. So don't, worry that this demo is the only reference or, resource you all are going to have. Olivia is sharing her screen right now with what your 2.0 screen will look like. And then also the screen that she was just on was kind of like the screen by screen quick start guide of how to do this. And this is what we worked with IDES to make sure this was the correct instruction. So I know this is a lot of information and we have been, just really giving you a lot of information over the last 2 weeks, but you will have this reference. We will make sure that it is on our IWDS training and transition page for you all to refer back to. And then I'll continue working with Kelsey and her team to make sure we can get all of our local area people in have the right credentials to access these systems. So don't worry about that. We'll make sure that that's connected on the back end. Is there anything else, Kelsey, Olivia, that you all wanted to share before we kind of go over hypercare plans, or if you all have questions, additional questions in the QA, go ahead and put those in there. We have about 15 minutes left in our meeting today.
Tara, did you want me to pull the PowerPoint up? Is there anything else you wanted to look at in that?
Yeah, if you can. If not, I can do it too, Olivia. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we went over, and first, before we move off this agenda item, I really want to thank Kelsey and I don't know if Stacy is on because it's here in the chat. Thank you all for working with our team to help create this presentation and also the instructions. We're excited whenever we get to, connect smartly together to make our job easier and also really help participants get the information that they need and are noted for the services that they've received across our partnership. So thank you all, means a lot, and we'll continue working together for, next steps. But as we, as you all likely know, today is the 29th. Our system goes live on the 1st. So we wanted to make sure that we're sharing with you again our plans for hypercare. So if Olivia, you go to the next slide, you've seen these before, but again, hypercare is really, what do I do if I need help? So we created these tiers for you all to work through if you experience issues, as you're getting into our system July 1 and kind of onward. So the first thing that you all should do is refer to the quick start guides and the different resources on our IWDS training and transition page. That's number one. So we've added a lot of information to this page. I'm putting it into the chat right now. Some things to know and keep in mind during this blackout period. So that's the first step, review the quick start guides. And then the second is like phone a friend, ask a coworker. We don't want you to have to go, too far away from your workstation or Teams messaging, but, see if someone around you can help you troubleshoot. If you all can't come to an answer together, that's when you'll go ahead and join the Hypercare Zoom room. That Zoom room is going to be staffed by our regional trainers, some OET staff, and members of our workNet team, and we'll work on understanding if you are having like general troubleshooting questions and how to go from there. And then Olivia, if you go to the next slide, once you're in that Zoom room, our team will determine who kind of takes the question, help desk style. So if it's kind of a tier one, you'd get someone like myself who could do some general navigation. If we realize that it might be more system, then we refer it back to Illinois WorkNet, who are all on the call, and they'll kind of triage from there. So really, all you need to remember for hypercare is first, go to the training and transition page, see if you can, learn or find the answer on your own, ask a neighbor, and then join our hypercare Zoom room. That link will be put on this page tomorrow so that no one's joining early. And you'll also get an email from me, or our local directors will get an email from me, kind of bolding and highlighting and having exclamation points. This is the Hypercare Zoom Care League, and then also sharing our 2.0 kind of not training site. So again, you all have seen this before. I just wanted to make sure as we're approaching launch that you all felt secure in the knowledge and that of what to do in case you experience an issue on Wednesday. Do we have any more questions in about the IDES lookup, about hypercare, anything like that? And then Chris, I was just able to grab Laura and she sent me the eligibility criteria for UI. So it looks like if the person is eligible or has exhausted UI benefits, some of the documentation includes IDES UI information or other states' UI records, UI status, IDES documentation, a statement from an IDES representative, referral from RESEA or WPRS programs, or pay stubs. So that should hopefully answer those questions. And then we have one more question I think, Kelsey, you might be able to help us with, which is who should we contact? Oh, nope, that's me. So who should we contact to get our local staff accounts? Our staff in LWS 6 does not have access. So that was similar information that another local area rep messaged me with. I'll work with Kelsey and her team to figure out if it's sending you all instructions on how to get access or if we, send them a list. But we will work on that next step. And then Crystal has asked in the QA, how long into the transition will we have access to hypercare support? Great question, Crystal. That hypercare support, specifically 8 to 5 hypercare Zoom, will be available through July 10th. We'll likely still have a hypercare Zoom room past that, but it will probably not be 8 to 5. So we'll start scaling back and likely putting the hours where we're getting the most like frequent calls. So if we're using our July 1 through 10 to gather data on when we need the most coverage for that hypercare Zoom room, we'll use that post July 10th to figure out, how often we need to staff that area and then kind of taper off after July 10th. But July 1st through the 10th business days, we will be available 8 to 5 p.m. on that Zoom room link. And on that topic, I think I was supposed to ask you all, can you let me know in the chat if you're open July 3rd? I'm going to be asking our directors this at 2. But our state team, that's our July 4th observed holiday, but I know we have a couple of providers that are likely open. So if you could let us know if you're open or closed, that would be really helpful for our team. And while you're doing that, Olivia has put on the screen again our IWDS training and transition page. If you go kind of scroll to the buttons on that page, there's a full list of resource button and an FAQ. Those are going to be very helpful when you all are kind of out in the wild of IWDS 2.0 to refer back to. I think, Olivia, that might be our last slide on this presentation. Yeah, just some more Training Hub information. So thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Kelsey, for demonstrating. That was very helpful. Again, a reminder, you will get all of this information, that Kelsey walked through, and on our training and transition page. So just as a reminder. But thank you all for coming today. If you have any questions, let me know. The training schedule is up on our training and transition page. A lot of what's coming are open QA hours. So if you have a burning question that we haven't answered in one of these refresher trainings, please join and we can walk you through it. And if not, we'll see you on the other side of launch. But thank you all for joining. Thanks our IDES friends for helping demonstrate. And thanks, Olivia, for helping build the system too.
Thanks for having me. It was fun. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. We've been there. We're going through all the stuff for RESCA, so it's a lot. But you guys got this. You guys are in great hands. So
Thanks, Kelsey. Well,
mhm.
Olivia, I think that there are a few questions in the QA.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can answer.
I did want to note, I saw one, I answered it, but other people might run into this. We are running migrations through all of our environments. So you should be able to get into the Do It and the SIUAT environments. The Do It one is the one we did training on. The SIU one is the one we did UAT testing on. You should be able to get into those. If you cannot access them, please send an email to iwdst.info@illinoisworknet.com and we'll take a look at what's going on. I will note that you have the potential to run into some weird load issues if we are running migrations when you hit it. It might be kind of slow or look a little weird. Give it a little bit of time and then come back to it, and it should be up and running. That is just the nature of the phase we're in right now. We have to run through all of our environments to get it into production so that our production looks beautiful July 1.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna I'm gonna put that email in the chat for everybody.
Yeah, and Olivia, we'll email that same information out to everyone today as well.
I'm unsure on Lisa's question. I think
When
kind of what Kelsey was saying is we are not necessarily pivoting away from IBIS from understanding UI. We might see some of that in the system, but it's not necessarily the full picture that we need to see for like have they exhausted, are they receiving? It's more of the claim. I don't know enough on that to like give a confident answer.
Yep. And I think, Olivia, we can work with our IDES friends to try to figure out a little bit of, I think there's probably 5 common QAs that we've received that we can send out with that lookup. That's a good call. All right, friends. Olivia, if there's no more questions, we can probably close the meeting out in about a minute or two. But thank you all for joining us. I think we have another training today at 3 about roles, I believe. So stay tuned, and if not, we're around for open office hours.
Hello, Kelly or Sarah.
Hi, Yolanda. Yep.
Hi, I just went on to look uh, in regards to the 3 o'clock meeting, and
Okay.
I don't see that link.
Let's take a look. Oop, I just accidentally tried to join it. So Kelly, if you go to the Kelly, Olivia, Lord. Today I'm just calling anybody everybody else's name. That's today's day. Okay, so what Olivia's highlighted on the screen, our third box, Monday on 6/29, 3 to 4:30 is the user role dashboard reports and access overview. We have gone over this before, but this is one of the major questions we're getting in these refresher trainings. So we wanted to make sure and
Right.
invite Lynette back to kind of do a live demo.
Now that's crazy because it's not, today is Monday, right? The
I
last thing that I
guess.
have on upcoming events, unless I'm looking at something wrong, it just says open training open from 12 to 1:30. It's okay. Maybe I'm in a wrong spot.
I want to also
You
say,
all have it broke down by roles, right? So that might be why.
For these
Send me the
refresher
link to the
trainings,
page you're on, Yolanda.
yeah, on these refresher trainings, I would stay on that main page, Yolanda, because that's kind of the hub of all of these refreshers. I don't know if they have been broken down by role yet. So the upcoming events um,
Uh,
is on that main page, not jumping into the career planner page.
okay,
That might be the
that might be the issue.
well, I think the issue, let me just shine on this. When you click on that register link, it doesn't let you register. It takes you straight to to the Zoom room to get entered. I had that problem since last week. I thought was maybe because I was online. See, so anytime you click on it, it doesn't let you register.
right.
Okay,
It's more of a direct link.
Right, it's a
the direct
direct
link.
link. So
Okay,
I'm just
I got
remember
it.
I have it open. So when that time comes to click on it to open up the Zoom thing and let me in.
I'll take a look at that.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
I got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Yolanda.
Thank you. Okay.
There's a question about a contact at IJL. Daisy, I'm not able to answer that question. That seems more local specific. But we will get you information about who is the right contact and or making sure that your local area has access. Yeah, and Daisy asked, are forms still required to be completed to access or create an IJL account? Back in 2020, there were some people that emailed me a form labeled form requesting IJL access for staff or partner. Can anyone shine some light as to whether this process is the same? And Daisy, that is the question that we're trying to determine from our IDS friends. I think that Kelsey noted that they're revamping this process, but we want to make sure that we get you the right information before I give you, a form, etc. So we'll work on that and make sure that you all are aware very soon. Thanks. All right, all, we're a minute over, and I know everybody's probably very busy on this Monday. Oh, yep, go for it, Cassie.
Yeah, I just clicked on the link and I think I had the same issue Robert had.
Mm-hmm.
It's telling me to join.
I think I
Yeah, I
just
believe.
fixed it. Give the page a second to load my changes.
Okay. Thanks, Olivia.
See. See now if we click that, it's taking you to the registration.
All right. I will.
Hold on, I got publish it. It's only doing it for me.
Okay.
And then if everybody refreshes their page when they go there, they'll get that registration link.
All right.
Hey, Cassie,
I give it a minute and then I'll do it.
I'm spoiled and people just send me a link. So I apologize. I have been hoisted by my own petard on that one. So thanks for letting us know. Thanks, Olivia, too. All right, all. We'll see you, I'm sure, soon on another call very shortly. But we'll try to get those questions answered that you all put into the QA as well. But thank you, and we'll see you later. I think, Olivia, you can close it out.
Yep, thanks all.